sports podcast with the youngest, most daring, intrepid, gutsy, fearless host on the planet. Get ready for Jake's Takes. Here's Jake.
Welcome back. I am Jake, and this is Jake's Takes, where I get your favorite athletes and stars to open up and speak what's really on their minds. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because you won't believe the guests I have lined up. Today's guest is a star center in the NBA. He attended Central Junior High School, and as a 6'2" freshman, he led his team to 27 wins. During high school, he played in well-known tournaments and camps, such as the LeBron Camp, the Nike Big Man Skills Academy, and the Elite 24 Invitational. He was getting tons of attention for his athleticism, his ball handling, his shooting ability, and his shot blocking ability. He represented the United States in the 2014 FIBA Under-18 Championships, helping the country win a gold medal. He played his college ball at the University of Texas, and as a freshman, he averaged 10 points, 6.5 boards, and 2.6 blocks per game, earning the Big 12 Freshman of the Year honors. After just 1 year of college, he was selected by the Indiana Pacers with the 11th overall pick in the 2015 NBA Draft. His defense and shot blocking are off the charts. He can step outside and drain the three, and also punish you down in the block. Bottom line, he's a force to be reckoned with. It's my absolute honor to welcome to Jake's Takes, starting big man for the Indiana Pacers, the one, the only, Myles Turner! What's going on, Myles? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Your energy is amazing. You have definitely done your homework, so I appreciate that. I'm excited to be here with you, Jake.
Thank you. And by the way, I did my homework, but that was just for extra stuff. I know you pretty well, Myles.
Is that so? All right.
Yeah, I can't believe you're actually on my show. It's pretty sick. I got to give a huge shout out to your agent, Lavelt. He's a world-class guy, and he's been really nice to me. So thank you so much, Lavelt. By the way, how you feeling, Myles? I read last week you weren't feeling 100%. You good? You good now?
I'm good to go, man. You know, it's had a little bug, no COVID, no fever, no flu. So, I can't complain about anything. I was back out there last night, past couple of games, and I'm feeling all right.
You dropped 20 points and 3 blocks last night. I mean, like, you played pretty well.
Light day at the office, Jake.
Yeah. Okay, Myles, you ready to talk some hoops?
Let's do it.
Let's go. Before we talk about your team, I want to talk about your game because you're just like off the charts. I got to give a shout out to you because I won my basketball fantasy league last year, and it was mostly because of your insane shot blocking ability.
That's
Nobody
what I like.
was even close to you, Myles. You averaged 3.4 blocks per game. Rudy Gobert only averaged 2.7. When's the league finally going to give you what you deserve? Defensive Player of the Year.
Man, that's a great question. I've been asking myself that for some time now, but sometimes all I can do, Jake, is all I can do. So, I'm pushing this year for it. I'm going to continue to keep pushing for it, and hopefully my stats, my numbers are enough to prove people otherwise. So, all I can do is continue to keep doing what I'm doing, and I guarantee I'm going to do a lot better.
Yes, sir. By the way, talking about Rudy, I was really lucky, and someone gave me tickets to a game a couple of years ago, and I sat right next to the Jazz bench. Mm-hmm. And I started talking to Rudy, and with the big mouth I have, I got his attention really quick. And I asked him for his shoes, and he said, yeah, sure. At the end of the game, they won, and he just walked off the court, and he totally forgot about it. Oh, and I've been trying to like get in touch with him and everything, ask him, but it didn't get through. So I couldn't get one Defensive Player of the Year shoes. How about a future Defensive Player of the Year?
I can't believe he did you like that, man, but that's not how I roll. I'll definitely make sure I hook you up. We'll make it happen.
Let's go. By the way, there's really good like talent in the NBA. Seems like some players just can score at will. Who do you think's the hardest player to guard?
Man, there's a couple people out there. Basketball's become so positionless that not even guards are, some of the best scorers in the league. Have a lot of centers, have a lot of forwards that can score. Some of the best I've seen, just up close and personal. DeMar DeRozan, he's one of the best mid-range players I've ever seen. When the ball's in his hands, he makes a lot of things work down there. It makes a lot of defense have to pay him a lot of attention. From the big man position, DeMarcus Cousins is one of the guys that I really I guess was fascinated with when I first got to the league, because he started off on the block, but then he started taking everything back to the outside and could just score inside out at will, in his prime. Some of the best guards I've seen, obviously Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson. I was a part of that game when Klay Thompson had 60 points in 3 quarters. I'm not sure if you remember that game, but it was a couple about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. Yeah, I think he only took 11 dribbles, and it was one of the craziest things I've seen in person. See anybody do with the basketball. So there's a couple just to name off the top of my head.
Wow, I just noticed that you didn't put Giannis, Joel Embiid, Jokic in there, Kevin Durant. You rank these guys higher than them, or?
Everything I said wasn't necessarily in order. It's kind of just the top of my head, but obviously Kevin Durant's one of the greatest scorers to ever live. Trust me, it's been a nightmare trying to guard him. Joel Embiid's one of the better big men in the league. Jokic, Giannis, as you mentioned, all these guys can score. But as far as pure scorers, some of the guys that I mentioned in the beginning was one of the ones that was, I guess, jumped out at me per se.
Myles, tell me honestly, how sick is it to just block someone and just stare him down? I mean, I'm a small guard, so I don't usually get to do what you do, but it must be awesome. Just going against someone who you're mad at. Ah!
It's definitely a momentum changing thing. Basketball is a big game of momentum and runs. And, when you block a big shot or it's said it's 10 seconds left, you block someone in crunch time, it's one of the better feelings out there, because then you can talk your noise a little bit. You get in the other team's face, and it's an intimidating thing. So I think more than anything, as a momentum shifter, that's my favorite part of blocking shots.
Yeah, that Bam Adebayo block. I remember, I think it was in the bubble actually against Celtics. That was huge. I remember that so clearly. But what's the most memorable block you ever had?
The most memorable block I've ever had. Well, one of the more popular ones I had was in my rookie year. I was able to block LeBron James, one of his dunk attempts. And that's something that's very rare. Not a lot of people block, LeBron James dunk. And this is back in LeBron's prime. It was my rookie year. It was here at home. And at the time, it was Bankers Life Fieldhouse. And that was a big momentum shifting play. Cleveland had been beating up on us on most of that game. And after that, the momentum swinged in our favor. We were able to kind of, take it down to the end with them. But, YouTube that one, man. You might learn something.
Okay, Myles. I want to talk about your offense. What impresses me most about your game is how efficient you are as a shooter. It's so rare to see a 7-footer as a freshman in college shoot 84% from the free throw line. Anyone with a brain would realize how good of a shooter you are. How did a big man like you develop such a strong outside game?
Well, when I was around your age, really, I didn't. How you were just, you mentioned to me that you're a small guard. But when you're at your age, you got to be able to work on every little piece of your game. So just because you're a small guard doesn't mean you can't post up. So I kind of had the same philosophy. I guess I was thinking the same way when I was younger. Just because I'm a big man doesn't mean I can't shoot. So my dad is someone I had to, give a lot of credit for. He made me stay after every single practice to work on my ball handling, work on my shot, and just work on all aspects of my game. And, the game flipped where big men have to be able to do everything in the NBA. Same thing with the guard. Guards had to post up. Guards had to be able to, facilitate. Guards had to be able to go out there and score. So, I just took a lot of time back when I was younger just to work on my touch and whatnot.
It's working. I mean, just to remind everyone, the numbers you're putting up. You're shooting 40% from 3, and your effective field goal percentage is 62%, which is right at the top of the league leaders. Myles, why don't you shoot more threes per game if you have incredible numbers like that?
I feel like a majority of the shots I do shoot are threes. And I think I shoot right around 4 or 5 threes a game. But I have what's called the green light, to let it fly beyond the arc. So whenever it comes my way, I'm always looking to put them up. But Jake, you're right. Maybe I should shoot a little bit more, maybe a little more.
Get NBA 2K to slighten up that shot tendency. You know what I'm saying?
lot of stuff we got to buffer up there, but you're right. You're right.
I want to actually ask you something about 2K. So, in the beginning of the year, there was a whole thing going around that Zion was insulted, that he was only an 89 overall.
Right.
But now I'm looking at it and being like, John Morant's an 89 overall. And in my opinion, John Morant should be higher than Zion.
Okay.
If Jaw's an 89, I don't think Zion can make a case for 87.
Well, it's just it's interesting because Zion hasn't played all year. So especially in 2K, when you get hurt, you haven't shown people what you can do. Your ranking automatically goes down. Now, John Morant, he had a absolute crazy start to the season. I'm sure you said the numbers he was putting up. His team was successful, and to me, that warrants an upgrade. So, I think we got to see healthy Zion. I think that he's capable of playing at that level of an 89 or higher. He's one of the better, more explosive players I've played against. But health is very important, especially at the age that he's at in his career. So we'll see what happens.
The best ability is availability. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that was. You know what a bar is, Jake? That was a bar, my friend.
By the way, your Indiana Pacers are fighting really hard in the much improved Eastern Conference. Your team's just stacked top to bottom. It's rare to see a team with 8 really strong NBA players who can start on any team. When this team's healthy, it seems like you can beat anyone on any night. Do you guys recognize how talented this team is?
Oh, of course we do, man. I think that you said a lot without saying a lot with the best ability is availability. We haven't had our full roster really set in the past 3 or 4 years. Someone has always been hurt. So we haven't been able to see the full potential of how we are, full strength. But we're pretty good, when we're all together. You have a list of guys like us top to bottom. So, it's one thing about this league, it doesn't matter who you're playing any given night. It is hard to get wins. It is not an easy business, what we do. So when we go out there and we're competing at the highest level and we're all clicking on all cylinders per se, that's a lot of winning basketball. So we're getting better.
By the way, what's your impression on rookie Chris Duarte so far? He's averaging 13, 4, and 2, and he's really impressed me out of the gate. He stepped into the starting lineup, and he's played awesome. Tell me what you see in this guy's game.
Yeah, Chris has no fear. Usually when rookies come in, you have to kind of wait for them to develop their game, or when they first get out there, the moment might be too big, but it's never been that for him. Once he get out there, he has a scorer's mentality, and it doesn't matter who's in front of him. He wants to go out there, and he's going at you every single time. So I've been impressed with his mindset. I think he still has a lot to learn, like any rookie does. But the fact that he's starting out on fire like he is really making a big case for him to be in that rookie of the year race.
By the way, I want to ask you. There's all these things that everybody says that players do crazy things to rookies. Like last year, I saw the Raptors did some pretty bad things to rookies. Have you done anything to Chris yet, or are you going to work him into that situation?
I think Chris, we have to work him into that one. I've had some rookies in the past that I've had to get right. I think a big tradition in the NBA is popcorn in people's cars. You literally unlock their car and fill the entire thing full of popcorn. It smells like it for months. You turn your AC on, you're getting popcorn blowing at you. But we haven't done anything like that with Chris yet, but it's early. So I'm not saying we will, I'm not saying we won't, but you have to stay tuned in, man.
Basically, Chris, hide your keys.
Basically. Smart man, he should do that.
Myles, I got to talk to you about TJ McConnell. How in the world did this guy go undrafted? He's not only is he all hustle, but he does everything that you want from a winning point guard. He shoots 50% from the floor on basically all layups. He has a 4-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio, and he steals the ball as much as he gives it away. Myles, how much has TJ meant to this team?
TJ meant a lot to this team and a lot to the organization. Me and TJ were the same exact draft class. And, it happens that, TJ is a little bit shorter, like you were saying, how you small point guard. TJ's a small point guard. So there was a lot of small point guards coming out at the time. And, we have what's called the eye test. TJ probably didn't necessarily pass the eye test when it came to the scouts and whatnot. But when he was in the pre-draft process and was working out for teams and was able to go out there and show what he was capable of doing, he definitely passed the eye test when you're out there on the floor. The way he plays, the intensity he brings to a team, brings to a game is something that any team want to have. He's one of those guys that you want to have him on your team and you don't want to play against him. So he's meant a lot to to my development here, especially as a person and just being here on the team. And then he just obviously just signed an extension with the team, so we're happy for him.
Yeah, I mean, I want to ask you, how strong is Domantas Sabonis? He's a beast down low, and you probably get to practice, you practice with him, no?
Yeah, sure do. Domas is definitely one of the more, we call him like an enforcer. When he has the ball down there, he intimidates other teams, and he's able to really just bounce off you. He just puts his head down and throws that shoulder into your chest, and you got to take it like a man. And that's the epitome of his game, man.
Okay, Myles, right now on Jake's Takes, it's game time. We're playing some rapid fire. I'll ask you a bunch of short questions, and you answer them as quick as you can. Deal?
Boy, all right, cool.
Let's go. Who would you rather beat, Oklahoma or Baylor?
Oh, those are both awful. I'd have to say Oklahoma. Baylor's sickening.
What's a better feeling, dunking on a guy or rejecting a shot in his face?
Rejecting a shot in his face, for sure.
Steak or sushi?
Ooh, another tough one. I'll go steak. I'm a Texas boy.
Describe Joel Embiid in one word.
Charismatic. He has a personality.
Favorite activity besides basketball?
Hiking.
Shower or bath?
Shower, definitely.
Probably can't even fit in the bathtub, so.
Oh, I cannot, Jake. I cannot.
What NBA team do you dislike the most?
We'll say, who's our rival? We'll say Chicago. Rival.
Good thing you didn't say Toronto, because I would have got mad there. Luka or Devin Booker?
Oof. I'll probably go Luka in that situation. Luka.
Who sets the hardest screens in the NBA?
Dwight Howard, probably.
Who talks the most trash in the NBA?
You can put Pat Beverly up there.
We got a winner! Myles Turner, you just nailed that rapid fire with that sweet performance. Mad impressive. How'd that feel, Myles?
There was a lot of pressure, Jake, but I feel like pressure makes diamonds, so it was a great situation for me.
Okay, I got 2 more questions for you, Myles. You good with that?
Let's do it.
Let's go. I want to shift to another topic in the NBA that I think needs a little bit more attention. The Ball brothers are balling out big time. Lonzo's shooting 45% from 3, while LaMelo's shooting 38% from 3, 90% from the line, and is now almost getting a triple-double on a nightly basis. How impressed are you when you see 2 brothers develop into such great shooters so quickly, especially when you have Lonzo, who was very, very doubted in his shooting?
First of all, I got to give a shout out to their father, man. I think LeVar Ball had he really had the right recipe when he was coming out here with these kids, and he was talking them up, and he basically said, "I told you so." So not only to have 2, boys in the NBA, but 2 boys that are playing at a high level is incredible. Lonzo's definitely improved every year he's been in the league. That's the goal. Every year in the league, you want to improve. The mechanics, his shot, everything looks, about as good as it's going to get, and he's doing well. And then he has LaMelo, who's only in his second year, who's somebody you have to worry about on a nightly basis. That's very impressive. So they're both doing a great job for themselves, and they have a long career to go.
By the way, I want to ask you, looking at the league, seems like the Warriors are taking over again. They're absolutely dominating with a record of 19-3. And they just beat the Suns. And that's without Clay and Wiseman. We know what happens when Steph, Clay, and Draymond are playing together. How hard is it going to be to realistically beat the Warriors in a best-of-7 series?
Well, we play them next week, so we'll get to see it up close and personal. But in that Western Conference, things are a lot different. I think that their offense is a well-oiled machine. Especially when you have Steph Curry out there doing what he's doing. They don't even have Klay Thompson back yet, James Wiseman. they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. But a team like that, you got to make your adjustments very early. Try and slow down. You're not necessarily going to be able to stop Steph Curry, but you got to try and slow him down and make others in that team beat you. So, we definitely have their work cut out for them in the 7-game series, especially having to play at in San Francisco. It's one of the loudest arenas out there.
Last question, Myles. There's some big surprises earlier on so far. And just to take a look at the Wizards, they moved out Westbrook, and now they're winning games. It just shows how important it is to have role players rather than just like household names. Guys like KCP, Daniel Gafford, Montrezl Harrell, Dinwiddie. Wow. These guys have impacted, it's crazy how much they've impacted this Wizards team. How important are role players to the game today?
Role players make up everything. Like I was just saying with Steph Curry, how you had to make somebody else beat you. On that team, there's Steph Curry would be someone like Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal scores at a high level. You have to try and slow him down and make all these other guys beat you. With that being the case, when you have guys around you that are capable of beating you any night in and night out, it makes it that much more difficult. The guy that doesn't have to score, but he's a hustle player. He's going to get you rebounds. He's going to make extra possessions for you, block shots. Or you have the guy who just sits out there and shoots threes. All those things are key and intricate to success. Not just one person going to be able to do everything. So role players are about just as important as it gets out there. Try to play championship level basketball.
Okay, Myles, I got to thank you big time for taking the time out of your busy NBA schedule to talk some hoops with me. Did you enjoy our time together?
I most definitely did, man. Your energy was amazing. I think what you're doing here is amazing too. So keep going, man. And keep your dreams very high because you can achieve them all.